Hello, everyone. This is Valentina, and we continue to talk about applied ethnography. This time, we're going to cover the participant observation aspects in the ethnography. And you will see there is a plenty of informal observation in ethnographers' data gathering. So let's start with the key areas of discussion that I thought would be relevant for the discussion. So first of all, what is actually a participant observation? What is participant observation between formality and structure? And a couple of informal conversational interview techniques that can be applied in ethnography. So, what is participant observation? There is some discussion and then there are some definitions in Paulo's book, but before going there, I would like to introduce to you the idea that a researcher can have different roles, not necessarily in ethnography, but in any other qualitative research methods. So, a researcher can be a complete participant, okay? Behave as a full member of the community. The benefit of this is that it gives the researcher ability to gain a deep understanding of the culture. So you as a researcher, you are there and you're a complete participant. However, in this kind of role, it's a little bit challenging and you may lose perspective and have difficulties in recording the observations. Now, there is another role the researcher can have, it's observer participant. Okay, so we talk about complete participant, now we talk about observer participant. So the researcher wouldn't engage in any activities with the participants, but their participants will be aware of the researcher's direct observations. Okay. The downside to this kind of role is the loss of information related to the lack of engagement, because when a researcher is observer participant, it doesn't engage but observes. Okay, so we talk about these two main roles as a complete participant or observer participant. And here it is, Palto introducing the concept of participant observation, which is pretty much the role of participant observer in a research. So what happens as a participant observer, the researcher shares actively with the study participants, but also can step back from the activities to be an observer. So it's a combination, but the main role is to be participant, in the same time having an opportunity to observe. So Deol, as cited by Palto, says that participant observation is a method in which a researcher takes part in the daily activities, rituals, interaction, and events of a group of people with the intent to learn the explicit and tacit aspects of their life, routines, and their culture. So the intent to be in their culture is to blend and to learn the group people's behavior. Okay. Now, participant observation, it may sound pretty formal, it may sound, yeah, I'm there and, I just blend. However, what Palto is saying, there is some formality and there is some structure in how we do participant observation. So the first one is to gain the trust with local people. The idea is to get to know them and gain their trust and willingness to provide honest answers when interviewing them about various topics. So you have to be mindful of, I'm here to gain trust with these people so I can obtain their honest answers. The second item is see the behaviors and actions firsthand. This is actually one of the benefits, if you want, of participant observation, is that being there, you can see the actions and behaviors of the people firsthand, so you can understand what people are talking about in conversations and interviews. Then observed activities documentation. In many cases, only a small percent of observed activities are intended to be fully documented for later write-ups. So this is part again of the structure. You know that you're part of the culture, but only certain activities are actually to be fully documented. I mean, there might be some common sense activities that maybe not relate to your research, and maybe you don't feel the need to document those. And then participant observation can happen accidentally. Again, just being part of the culture, being part of the setting, a lot of really good interaction can happen accidentally. It doesn't necessarily have to be formalized. So now we talk about structure, we talk about formality. Now we talk about informal conversation interviewing. Conversations are likely to be about why certain things happen, what is going right or wrong, or many other comparative comments or disagreements. So this is a part of the entire discussion and conversation with the participants. And if you remember, on previous chapter, we talked about organizing our interview plan and observations according to the research purpose. However, there are some informal things that are helpful to happen. And Balto is giving a couple of great examples on page 138. Questions like, can you explain to me why that person interfered in that discussion? Or who are the people that just joined the group? So this kind of, some things can happen, and you can and you should be using your critical thinking and ask questions. Why is that person talking, or why is that person interfering? So this is what informal conversation interviewing is about. So we talk about participant observation is a very general and unstructured approach to ethnographic research because of the observation, because of being a participant. And although there is some criticism of participant observation given its subjective nature that appears to be unstructured, and this is pretty much in most of qualitative research methods, there is also significant evidence that a relatively unstructured participant observation can help to introduce researchers to the study community by improving levels of cooperation. So in other words, the more you blend with a culture, the more information you can gain. So really quick, this week questions are, what are other positive implications of the participant observation? But actually, what other positive implication of the participant observation would support the researcher and community in an ethnographic inquiry? So we talk about a couple of positive implications in the beginning, that you're part of the culture, that you are seeing things firsthand. What other positive implication you can think of? Okay, and then the second question is, can you think of a scenario in your ethnographic research journey where informal conversation and interviewing would be appropriate? So in other words, just make a scenario, and what would be the questions that will trigger discussion that you have not thought about, and maybe informal and on the spot. Okay, these were the references for this week of video. Again, I look forward to your discussions and any other opinions you have about this particular topic. Thank you and have a great week.